Hello, Eagle family, and welcome to another episode of the Eagle Exchange. I'm Chancellor Karrie Dixon, and today we're taking a closer look at how our students are stepping into leadership roles that extend far beyond the classroom. Today's episode shines a light on leadership, discipline, and service through the experiences of our Army ROTC cadets from the Bull City Battalion, a collaborative program between NCCU and Duke University that is shaping the next generation of military and civic leaders. Joining us today are three outstanding cadets: Taveon Pierce, a senior at NCCU and MS4 in Army ROTC; Janiyah Monroe, a sophomore at NCCU and MS2 in Army ROTC; and Skylar Moore, a senior at Duke University and MS4 in Army ROTC. Together, they'll share how the Bull City Battalion has impacted their college experience, the lessons they've learned through ROTC, and how they are preparing for leadership and service after graduation. Welcome, Taveon, Janiyah, and Skylar. So let's start by first, I want to thank you, for one, for being here, and thank you for all that you're doing to provide service in the community, and of course, as you're preparing to offer service to our country. So I want each of you to introduce yourself, and we'll start with Janiyah, and tell us first about yourself, and then what inspired you to join Army ROTC?
Okay, well, hello, my name is Janiyah. I'm a sophomore sports medicine major here at NCCU, and my inspiration for joining ROTC started in high school. I was a part of my JROTC program, and I held several leadership positions, and then my high school cadre, they taught me a lot. They taught me discipline, academic and leadership skills, and so that is what really inspired me. I saw that I made such an impact in high school. I wanted to continue that with my career and just represent myself.
Wonderful. And Taveon, what about you?
Yes, ma'am. So I am Taveon Pierce. I'm a senior criminal justice major with a concentration in Homeland Security. I'm from Prince George's County, Maryland. What inspired me to join ROTC, I do come from a background of a military family. Mm-hmm. So my mom, my dad, stepdad, aunts, uncles were all in the military. And I told them, I said, I do want to join. I want to emulate your path. They told us, don't be like us, be better.
Right.
So the way they told me to do that was through ROTC, because all my family was enlisted. Nobody in my family was ever a commissioned officer. Oh. So they always pushed me, okay, if this is what you want to do, if this is the path that you want to go on, go to ROTC, get that bar, and then excel that way. And then from there you can emulate your own, or you create your own path for somebody else under me to, follow.
Wonderful. I like that. And Skylar?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, Chancellor Dixon, for having us today. My name is Skylar Moore, and I'm a senior studying political science at Duke University. My entrance into ROTC came from the fact that I, similar to Taveon, come from a family tradition of service. My father retired as a colonel in the Marines after 33 years. My mother served in the Navy, and my sister is currently a Black Hawk pilot in the Army. And so I always knew about that path, and for me, knowing that there was a route through which I could go to college and have a college experience while getting it paid for and continuing in my family's service tradition after graduation, it became a no-brainer for me to apply to ROTC, and I've just so enjoyed my time there.
Wonderful. So I hear a theme here. I hear family support, also legacy within the family as part of your military journey, and then high school, being exposed at the high school level to ROTC and to opportunities in the military. So when you think about, let's go back to high school. So in thinking about your journey in the military ROTC, what was your thought process as you identified the institution that you wanted to attend to combine your experiences of higher education, earning your degree, and ROTC and your military career. So talk a little bit about that, because we have two Eagles here, and then we have a Blue Devil. We have our Duke, and you all together make the Bull City Battalion. So tell me a little bit about what was your thought process in identifying your institution to attend and incorporating the military experience in that?
Of course. So I knew I wanted to go to an HBCU. I didn't want to be too far from home. I'm from Taveon, North Carolina.
Okay.
So my ROTC instructor actually introduced me to NCCU. He was able to contact the PMS here, and I was able to learn more about the program. And then once I learned that it was a joint program with Duke, I was like, okay, this is fantastic, because I will get that diversity. I will be able to learn more about, people other than who I grew up with.
Right.
And then, of course, HBCU, local, close to home. They had my major, what I was interested in, and I just knew this was the place for me.
Wonderful. Taveon?
So, like Janiyah, I was also in junior ROTC. I was in Air Force junior ROTC, so of course I was exposed to the Air Force side of the military house first. Coming from an Army household, the Army was always, in the back of my mind. So I was debating between which two that I would actually join once I got to college.
How did you choose?
I
know that had to be a lot of pressure.
Yes. So I know that my parents wanted me to do the Air Force, but doing Air Force Junior ROTC and having like guest speakers, pilots, and all these other, like amazing individuals coming from the Air Force to come and talk to the program, I just thought, like, this is cool, but I know that there's more. And I told my my instructor back in high school, I was like, sir, I'm gonna jump out of a plane.
Right.
I'm like, I don't really think we can do that, in Air Force. And he was like, no, Taveon, like, there's ways. And I'm like, yes, but there's a lot more ways in the Army. And I told my parents, I was like, there's so many different opportunities in the Army. So that's ultimately what made me choose Army ROTC Vice Air Force. But how I ended up at Central, it was funny. I was just telling Skylar this yesterday. I chose Central because of the Army ROTC program. Once I made my list, or once I got accepted into all my institutions, I went through which Army ROTC programs, like their Instagram pages, and there was a highlight on a senior from Prince George's County, Maryland as well, who was also a criminal justice major with my concentration. And I just so happened to be scrolling one day, and I said, NCCU has my major, Army ROTC, and there's literally somebody who looks like me and did everything that I wanted to do, in terms of college, and did it. I said, this is the institution for me, and that's how I became an Eagle.
So did you reach out to that alum?
I wasn't able to get in contact with him, but I did get in contact with the enrollment officer, Mr. Day, and he put me through to other people that were going to be returning that I would actually be in the program with. So they also influenced me to make, stay in the program and see it through to the end.
Great. That's a great story. Skylar.
Yes, ma'am. So coming from a small high school in Maryland, I knew that I thrived with that individual attention from my teachers, and that I enjoyed the small class sizes. So when it came time to selecting a university, Duke kind of checked all the boxes for me. It wasn't too far from home in Maryland, and also when I came and visited Duke, everybody just had such an immense pride for the school. And also at the time, my brother was enrolled at Duke, and so I got to see the campus, and I really did associate it with family, having my brother there, and then now our little brother is there, so there was a time that three of us were there at the same time. But I think just beyond Duke's campus, there's such a concentration of excellence in this region. I mean, being partnered with Central and getting to experience training opportunities, social life, with so many brilliant people just in North Carolina and in the Triangle region specifically, has been so developmental and just critical to my experience here.
Wonderful. And I have to say to our listeners, we had a dinner last night with the Bull City Battalion, and so we had the cadets from Duke, the cadets from NCCU come together and have dinner with me, and it was absolutely amazing to see all of you and to be a part of celebrating you especially our seniors who are about to graduate and be commissioned. So for those who are not familiar with the Bull City Battalion, can you tell us a little bit about what makes the Bull City Battalion unique? What has your experience been? All of you coming together, NCCU and Duke University cadets coming together, going through this journey as one battalion. What has that been like for you?
So I would say the experience that I've had is definitely, like Skylar was saying, there's so many walks of life, so many people that you'll meet, especially in the program, that you wouldn't have met if you weren't in the program. And I really do think being in the program and having that cross agreement between both institutions, because the people I met at Duke have been like influential and will be in my life, I know, for the rest of my life. There have been so many memories that we've had in trainings, on downtime, or just like in classrooms where we sit and talk, and you get more insight of who they are outside the uniform. You're making those connections that are building just the development between not just you, not that person, but as a collective, as a battalion. It just makes it more family and more tight-knit, and that's why I really am appreciative of the program. Yeah,
and it's very evident, just observing all of you at dinner last night, it's very evident that there's a close bond between NCCU and Duke cadets that make up or comprise the Bull City Battalion. So I really do. Anything else you want to add, Skylar or Janiyah?
Sure, I'll just say that Tavion's so right. When we form up as a battalion, there's no Duke and Central. We are truly Bull City Battalion through and through. There's no event that we're doing separated between the schools. We do PT together every morning, 5:50 a.m. And some days we're here at Central, some days we're at Duke, and then other days we're at a neutral location. So really, when we look at each other and we look to our left and our right, we just see brothers and sisters. There's no distinction between schools until it comes time for us to share with each other our different school traditions and invite each other to our different programming and organizational events, which is great.
Yes, I love that. I love how you how you just described the relationship there, where we're all one.
Yes,
and of course you represent your institutions, but at the end of the day, it's about focused on training, service, those things that you want to accomplish in your journey. Anything you want to add, Janiyah?
Yes, I feel like the Bull City Battalion goes beyond school, because I can really say all the cadets are there for each other, like Skylar and Taveon said. They help as far as like CPR certifications. I know some of us needed that. Some work with EMS. Some help you with your mental, with your physical. Like for instance, we do extra workouts on the side so we can make those PT standards. I feel like it's more than just school, it's beyond that. They're really a family.
Good, great. I love to hear it. So what are some of the most impactful lessons that you have learned through your ROTC training?
I feel like the most impactful lesson for me is that it's okay to make mistakes, because that's what we're here for. ROTC is to shape us into leaders. So this is where you make your mistakes, you ask your questions, and so you can learn and grow.
I agree with that. It is okay to make mistakes. We all make mistakes. No one's perfect. So I appreciate that. Yes.
Yes. So
Taveon.
I would say the most impactful lesson is to be present, and presence goes deeper than just physically being there. It goes deeper into like the mental presence, the emotional presence, building those development, those bonds between you and everybody around you, because there's going to be time where somebody's down and you need to be that person that can pick them up. And yes, you can physically pick them up, but are you emotionally picking them up? Are you helping them out mentally? Like Janiyah said, those mistakes, you make mistakes now. Something our PMS tells us, our Professor of Military Science, Lieutenant Colonel Norwood, he tells us mistakes come cheap as a cadet. So like Janiyah said, make those mistakes now, so that way when you do get that bar and you're now in front of 40 people and you're responsible for the lives of men and women, you already have made those mistakes, or you've had those lessons. And that lesson that I've gotten throughout the years that I'm still ironing out and making sure I'm ready is presence.
So tell me about being present, because in this world that we live now, and the generations of college students who were born with a phone and a tablet in their hands, what does it mean for you as you talk to your peers about being present? Like putting that phone down and being present in a productive way.
Right. So I say presence in this day and age, like you said, sometimes you do have to tell people to put that screen down, because not too often are you sitting here in like this capacity here where we're just sitting having a conversation. So we do strive to have like outings, events where, okay, we finished PT, let's go get breakfast, and nobody's on their phone and we're just talking, talking about life. Or after lab, hey, let's go to Chick-fil-A. It's right here. It's 50% off since we're in uniform. So like, okay, everybody get our little $5 bills. Yes, make sure you go Hillsborough Road. But yes, so making that time, that effort to get to know people outside of it, like I said earlier, getting to them outside of the uniform, it dives and it connects into that presence.
Exactly. And Skylar, any lessons learned you want to share?
Yes, definitely. I think that caring for people and putting people as the most valuable resource in your organization is so critical to our organizational success. As Taveon and I start to approach being in the actual Army, we're going to be asked, and we're going to have to ask people to do things that they've never done before, and ask them to reach limits that they didn't even know they could get to. But when you know what's going on in someone's life, in someone's family, what their goals are outside of the uniform, and you pour into them, they're going to be so much more willing to do the same for you. And I think that we really embody that in the battalion, understanding that everybody is here because they're a student first, and that everybody has different goals and visions for where this uniform will take them. And so understanding that and supporting that can enable so much success and just connection between everybody in the battalion.
Yes, and Skylar, that's a great segue into my next question, because I was just going to ask about your academic responsibility that you have, but also your responsibilities in ROTC. How do you balance it all?
My biggest thing when it comes to balancing both is finding a schedule and making sure you plan everything accordingly. Like for instance, I am a part of a group called NCCU Wesley. We have a prayer call at 6 a.m. But at the same time, I have PT at 5:50. So it's just finding that balance. So I would join the prayer call on Monday and Friday, and then I would go to PT Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So that's where finding balance comes in. I also make sure not to stress or overwhelm myself. So I have like homework days, and then I have days where I set aside for like my extracurricular activities in ROTC. But just finding a schedule that works for you is really what helps.
That sounds great. And I keep hearing this PT, and you all heard me say last night, one day I'm going to show up to PT. Now, whether or not I make it through PT, it's going to be up to how lenient you all are on me. But the PT, or the notion of that, what is that like for you? I know you're probably prepared for it now, but when you first started, I know probably have some good stories.
Yes, I would say in terms of PT, like my freshman year, definitely jumping in, they were just like, hey, this is your left parameter, your right parameter, and we're gonna go from left to right and everything in between. So usually Tuesday we have a run or a circuit on the NCCU track. Wednesday we're at that neutral location where we're lifting, and it's more strength and mobility. And then Thursday is typically a run. So you have that same battle rhythm every week, but every week is always something different. So yes, you can do like a pyramid workout where it's like you run 1 lap, then 2 laps, then 3 laps, then back down on Tuesday. But then next Tuesday, yes, you might be running, but it may not be running and doing a pyramid. You might be running with, one of the little dummies on your back, and you got to pass it to the next person. And so going in the mindset of PT, always knowing that yes, you have that same rhythm, but you don't know what to expect every week. Yes. It also adds to it, adds the little spice, the flavor of PT.
Well, one day I will build up enough courage to join you. But as we think about, you, Taveon and Skylar are about to graduate. So tell us a little bit around, what are you thinking after graduation? Like, what are some of your next steps as you start your military career?
Yes, so I branched military intelligence, and I'll be going in the active duty component of the Army. And so I'll start that journey in Arizona, and then afterwards we'll see where I end up. I'm waiting to hear about my duty station, but the lessons that I've learned from the Bull City Battalion and the people around me have just been so invaluable. And I really think that in our battalion we prioritize a whole approach to leadership development. And so one of the programs that we have is actually our holistic health and fitness program, H2F, which is also in the Army, but we kind of scaled it down to be at our Bull City Battalion level. And so Taveon hit on the physical portion, but we also have mental readiness, spiritual readiness, nutritional readiness, sleep readiness. And so we were able to have consultations with sleep doctors. We had chaplains come in and speak to us. We did restorative yoga. And so we really try to maximize that time that we have together and develop the whole person. And I think initiatives like that make me most confident to enter into the Army.
Wonderful. Taveon, anything you want to add?
Yes, ma'am. So, like Skylar, I will be branching into the active duty component. I branched logistics, so I will be starting my military career off in Virginia. Also, like Skylar, I'm also waiting for my duty station. So, fingers crossed for whatever that is. But yes, a big thing that we implemented this year was H2F, which was all the things that Skylar just listed. And it also ties back into like the whole person mentality. We have the physical readiness, we have the tactical readiness, we have the leadership readiness, but then also everything in between, like the mental, the spiritual, sleep, all those different facets that some people may not, think about when they first get in. So having that exposure now, I can go to my unit when I get there and say like, hey, well, what are we doing in terms of sleep? Are we having the chaplains come down regularly to talk and show that they're readily available for those soldiers? So knowing the resources that we have in the Army and knowing how to properly implement them also goes back into, like Skylar was saying, that trust and confidence in the leadership that those soldiers that we'll be leading will have in us.
Definitely. Well, we are so proud of you. And I look forward to celebrating you as second lieutenant once you're commissioned, and celebrating you at commencement. The first time we've been able to do that in a while, from what I hear, or first time overall, but it's something I was really committed to doing and working with our provost to make sure that we acknowledge our seniors who are going off to serve our country and everything that you have accomplished, and award you your degree, of course. That's important as well. So when you think about your younger self, Janiyah, thinking back to 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old Janiyah, based on what you know now, what would you tell your younger self to prepare you for this moment?
I would tell myself to keep going. I would tell myself to get out there, experience the world, and just step out of my comfort zone. Because when I was younger, I was very reserved. I was a crybaby. I don't know, I like my grandma's house and that's it. I really didn't have any friends, but I feel like I would tell myself, it's okay to talk to, the other girls. It's okay to talk to the other boys. It's okay to interact with others, because that is an important part of development and an important part of leadership. So yeah, just get out there and experience more things.
And I appreciate you sharing that with us, because, as we know that there are younger listeners listening to this podcast and seeing all of you as role models in their communities, what would you say to students, even on this campus and at Duke, who are interested in becoming a part of ROTC, or even high school students who are thinking about maybe in JROTC right now, but are thinking about taking that next step what would you say to them? What type of advice would each of you give to students interested in becoming a part of ROTC?
My piece of advice would be to just do it. At the end of the day, it's a class. ROTC isn't a lifetime commitment, so you can enroll in the class, get a feel for it, see if you like it, and at the end of the day, if you don't, you don't have to come back the next semester. But I would rather them do it and say like, okay, I tried it, it wasn't for me, than for them to, I don't know, wait till it's too late or wait till like the year they graduate and be like, wow, I really wish I did this. But just use your resources well. Like ROTC is here, so come meet us. Yeah.
Okay, I love it. Taveon?
Yes, I would definitely say, going off of Janaya, one thing that somebody told me, can't remember who, but somebody said when I was thinking about, well, Air Force, Army, should I do it at all? Should I just enlist? They said, just jump, take that leap.
Oh,
right?
I like that.
So for somebody that was listening or was considering like, do I want to do junior ROTC or do I want to do ROTC in college? Take that jump, because like Janaya was saying, you'll never know until you try.
That's right.
And there have been so many people that have came through the program that aren't within the program no more that I talked to, and they'll be like, oh man, like I wish I had stuck it out. I wish I committed to staying through the program and finishing it up, because I see where you guys are going. I see what you have waiting for you on the other side. So take that jump, do whatever feels right. If you feel it in your heart that like, hey, I want to try this, I want to give it a shot, maybe this is something that I can do for me, then do it. But don't ever give yourself in life a time of reflection where you are sitting there and you're just like, oh man, I wish I could have or I should have.
Right. Great. And Skylar?
Yes, I would definitely say be your own best advocate. Everything you need to be excellent in life lives within you, and so tap into that. Be your own best advocate and ask the questions that people aren't asking, but that they probably want to know too. Don't be afraid to seek out the information that you're not provided, and really putting that into practice will set you up for whatever is meant for you in life.
I love that. Now, a couple of fun questions. What's your favorite food?
Oh my.
I know. Can I?
Okay, go
ahead.
I love Triangle in Durham. It's my favorite restaurant. So it's Thai food, and
I love Thai also. I have to try that.
You have to. It's
try
delicious.
that restaurant.
And I always get the fried rice and the drunken noodle from there.
Okay, so I love that. Mm-hmm. Okay, are you a morning person or night owl?
Morning.
Morning?
I'm a night owl.
I am too.
I'm my best person at night.
Yes, I can relate.
Yeah.
Yes. If you had to choose a superpower, what would your superpower be?
I would love to fly. Get me a point A to point B quicker.
Right.
Let's just over it. Yeah.
Especially with your schedule. I mean, that would work out very well.
I would say invincibility.
Yeah.
And the reason being, you never know. Sometimes you're just like, hey, I don't know. I can't speak for everybody, but sometimes like the inner thought in my head, this is like, I could climb that tree, but what if you fall? If I fall, hey. You know what I'm saying? I just get up, brush myself off.
I love that. I love it. But you'll try it anyway.
But I'll try it anyway.
Yes. I love that. Skylar, do you have one?
Yes, I would love to be able to speak every language because I do enjoy traveling, and I plan to see more of the world, and I think that connecting with those people by speaking the same language would be really cool.
That would be awesome. Well, I am just thankful for each and every one of you, and I am so excited for you. I can't wait to see what you're going to continue to do. Janaya, I know you have a couple more years, but Taveon and Skylar, the sky's the limit. Go do what you do, and don't forget us, okay? Yes, don't forget the Eagles in the nest, and Duke, of course, you're part of us too. As the battalion, you come back and visit us. But we just thank you. Thank you to Taveon, Janaya, and Skylar for joining me today and for sharing your experiences, your insight, and commitment to service through the Bull City Battalion. And thank you to our Eagle family for tuning in to the Eagle Exchange. We hope today's conversation leaves you inspired by the leadership, discipline, and purpose these cadets embody. Be sure to follow North Carolina Central University on all social media platforms for more conversations that highlight the people and partnerships shaping our community. Thank you for listening to the Eagle Exchange, and as always, Eagle Pride Amplified.